Yeah. Thank you. All right. So, thank you, everyone. My topic is on the art of doing nothing, and which Tarun introduced on the social media as breaking from the grip of time. So, I chose this because this is something that I go through a lot of times wherein I am not able to calm myself down and just sit idle. I feel that I have a need to do something. Either I'll be thinking something that I need to do some. I need to make a call to my friend the next weekend. I need to place order for groceries. Oh, I need to do this at work. So I find it very difficult. And last year we went on a trip, and Tarun was also there on this trip. We went to Kasoli. We went to Kasoli, and it was like a weekend trip. So there were a group of 7, 8 people, and the next day we arrived, and the next day some of us, we wanted to kind of head out and do a little bit of sightseeing. But then 30% of the people, they said that no, we don't want to do anything. So I was quite surprised. Okay, I was quite surprised as to we have traveled so far to do something, but you guys don't want to do anything. What is that? I mean, I don't understand. So that kind of got me thinking that, what is this? I mean, and these people were able to chill without doing anything, while I had the urge of just doing something. Let's go, take my backpack. So, when Tarun asked me, I was like, no, I want to talk about this because I think it is not a syndrome, but I feel that sometimes I just need to relax myself, not even think anything, like just sit down, probably just watch out of the window, and which is the art of doing nothing. And now, just to glamorize this concept, I want to show some videos just to amplify and buy this concept to you. So this is our favorite Joey. All right, so let me play this.
Introduction. My favorite thing in the world to do, like my absolute favorite thing in the world to do, is nothing. I just be a professional nothing. That's what I do. Because it's so easy. There's no rules. What are you going to do today? I'll tell you. Nothing.
So just to give credit to the owner of this video, so the host is Frederick Skavlan, and he interviews. It's a Scandinavian talk show where he invites a lot of famous people, and here, as you can see, a famous personality is saying that he likes to do nothing, and it also comes from the fact this culture of being number one, being at par with people who you socialize with. You always want to be doing something. So just selling this concept, when famous people say that they like to do nothing, probably there is something. I mean, the general people would say that, okay, there is something, there is some value in the concept of doing nothing. And it is actually an art form, I would say. Like, there are lots of art forms which are now being sold, but it is available for free. A lot of things are available to us for free. But the concept of commercialization has come to the point that people want to sell us hope also. Like, there are switch words. If you chant them, people do courses to feel better, just to feel better. Everything is being sold. So I would say the art of doing nothing is a kind of art form, but don't get sold by it to the extent that you actually pay money to do nothing. While, if you have money, you can just go to a resort and just chill. I mean, that is also good. It is nothing bad. But yeah, I mean, you can do inside your home as well. So there is another video which I came across. It's on Netflix. It's a children's cartoon. And it has rude humor, but it is very popular. It is called SpongeBob and Sport Pants. Basically, SpongeBob is actually a sponge, and here he's taking his nephew to Sport Pants, and where he is introducing the concept of doing nothing to the kid. So I'll just play this. Sorry. Okay.
Maybe you're just not scientist material. But don't you worry, I'll bet Patrick can help you. He's a genius. And so, Mr. Star, that's why we came to you. Looking for your calling. So, what? Nothing at all? Yeah. Interesting. Let's see how good you are. Perfect! It's nothing better than anyone. Master. First, empty all thoughts. You're not worthy of instruction in the immobile arts. Leave my presence. Not a word. Nothing right. Don't give up, Stano. We just need to keep looking.
So while it's meant for kids, it has a very funny take on it. But I think there's a deeper meaning to it. When, when you try to do nothing, you'll have an itch, or there's something or the other. You'll get a phone call. It's actually very difficult to do nothing. To be very honest, if you start kind of purposefully, doing it. But here, the kid, I mean, who's hardly going to third grade, and he's saying that he's not good at nothing, which is while he's too young to discover what he's good at. And that is what I was trying to imply, that it will be very difficult when you start actually doing it. And maybe for the people who go through burnouts, it really helps. And it has a lot of, of course, mental and physical benefits, but, just kind of selling the concept, as I mentioned. So there is another video that I want to play on this thing.
Yeah, just use the mouse. I think it's on Netflix. Just go together.
Okay. So the cursor, I can't see the cursor. Okay. So now the next one.
Just click on the slide.
Okay.
Click on the slide. Use the mouse. Click on the slide. Yeah. Now go ahead.
Okay. So this one again, giving credits to the owner. So this is an advert which has been produced by Ogilvy. It's a very famous marketer, and they made this commercial for Cadbury. It is for their 5-star chocolate. They have a very interesting take on the hustle culture, and also on AI, that which is like the buzzword. Everyone is, in fact, I was myself pushed towards it, but anyway, that's another story. But yeah, I would like to, play this video as well. Oops.
Yeah,
Looking to upskill for the future?
This new AI can perform all coding jobs in seconds, including blockchain development. While this AI is already outperforming accounting firms. Meanwhile, the new graphic design AI aims to automate graphic design and
Relax. Because in the future where AI does most of the work, there'll be one thing that humans will finally get to do all day long. Nothing. it's time to learn the most essential skill of the future. 5-Star presents Nothing University with the first ever diploma program doing nothing. An intensive course covering the most future-ready skills out there. Well, let me check the AI back in a few days. With our state-of-the-art workshops, campus placements, and guest lectures, the world can finally prepare for the glorious future that awaits us. Meet 5-Star and nothing. Enroll now. That's definitely my aim.
So this is again very funny video that I found wherein nothing university, there are a lot of online universities, so this nothing university is selling courses where you can actually get a certificate of how to buy more time or things like that. And it's actually very true in organizations, since people are fascinated by designations and titles, they kind of keep adding new titles, designations, and sometimes you'll think that, am I worth this title? Am I doing so much work? But anyway, that's like an imposter syndrome. You may actually be good at it, and but yeah, that's a funny cheeky take. When AI comes, what will people do? They should also know, I mean, how not to do anything or probably do nothing. So moving ahead, talking about some cultural references as to where it already exists. So the art of doing nothing, this concept has come, the word itself is called Nixon, and it originates from Netherlands. And they know the art of doing nothing. So it already exists somewhere. And it is not, it would not be defined as mindfulness. That won't be a correct definition, but it is actually a mindless relaxation, and it is not even lethargy, it is actually good. And as we know that Dutch people are known to be, some of the happiest people on the earth. So, taking quote or maybe referring to this well-known researcher, Dan Butterson is his name, and he has founded this company called Blue Zone. So the company actually researches on the different activities which can actually make you live a better life, promote longevity, promote well-being. So his company does research across different countries, and in his he tries to find out what are the practices that the happiest people on earth are doing. So they are not immune to stress. It's not that they are immune to stress, but they have ways as to how they can keep themselves happy even if stress exists in your day-to-day life. So there are 3 countries. They are very small countries. So there's this one small island in Greece. Maybe I'll just tell you when we are discussing later. I forgot the name, wherein people take naps, and that is not new. Even in India, there are some cities, where people just go home and take naps. They go home and, have lunch with their family, like the small shops or stores. And in cities, we may find it very weird as to why the shop is closed, but it actually adds to your productivity and creativity. So, it is happening in our own country as well. The second, there's this country, Okinawa in Japan, wherein they think about their ancestors, which kind of makes them happy. Like thinking about, your grandparents or things like that, what you did, keeping those things. So it makes them happy. There's this another country, Sardinia. It is in Italy, where people like to spend time with their friends and neighbors. While sometimes in our building, like I'm really embarrassed to say this, I don't talk to my neighbors, but people like to talk to their neighbors and friends, which makes them happy. So there are different ways, and these concepts already exist, but now they are being imported by different countries and being commercialized. So basically Blue Zone does research about how the happiest people, what are the practices they do, how they have mastered it to keep themselves happy. And promote healing is something. The third one, what is the benefit? I think it really works, and stress and all kind of probably adds to a lot of ailments as well. But if you're not doing anything to recover, it's good to kind of keep yourself away from things that adds to stress in your life, which will kind of promote a faster healing mentally or physically. While the society may call it lethargy, laziness, but again, it is not bad. It is actually needed in today's world. And another concept, huga, which just when COVID was ending and things started opening up, I learned about this concept of huga, and it is coming from Denmark. So there, people, it means that you create an environment which is cozy, aesthetic, and you enjoy that moment, like you are just being in that moment rather than doing something like. So what they do is, in winter, since it's a very cold country, they like to have hot chocolate, they like to burn wood and have a bonfire. So that is what makes them happy, and probably they're also some of the happiest people. So in our concept, so when I read this concept, I was like, oh wow, I mean, this is an interesting concept. Being in nature is something that I like to do. So I took myself out, with a friend, and we did a small picnic in Carbon Park. I mean, we have the resources, we have the parks. If you like to go to a park, sit in the park, do nothing, just. So we spent 15 minutes just lying down, looking at the trees and listening to parrots. So, I mean, it is whatever drives your boat. I think you should do that. Even if you like to spend money and do it, probably that's good for you. So, yeah, these are some of the cultural references. And I will segue to the last section, which is a very simplistic. I think these things don't need to be taught as to what you can do. Um, but I would just like to, again, culture, or maybe, one of the researchers, Henry David Thoreau. So he's a well-known American philosopher, poet, and yeah. So basically, 2 years of his life, he went into woods, and he kind of secluded himself, and probably he was researching on a book. The book is called Walden, Life in Woods. So it was he spent 2 years, and he wrote something about procrastination. So procrastination, he went out of his home into the woods to procrastinate, and he would wander aimlessly for hours in the wilderness. So while we also, may like to go for hikes, we may like to go for treks, but we have an agenda, an objective, we may schedule time. But he would do it aimlessly. And he says very interestingly that it is not similar to walking. I mean, when you're doing something aimlessly, walking in the wilderness, procrastinating, it is something very different. And that is what one of my, things, how you can, there are different ways to do nothing, procrastination. And you don't need to schedule time to procrastinate. You can just procrastinate for 10 minutes, probably. Just abandon whatever you're doing and just procrastinate. And then you can pick it up later. So the art of breathing, it is very common these days. I think, the pranayam, I mean, how you control your breathing. So it's in our scriptures as well. Meditating, we all know. Lounging, it's just in your home. You just do nothing, Yawning, again, it is it is very interesting. But yeah, just napping. This is my favorite. I like to nap. When I'm tired, I like to nap for 1 hour. Bathing, there are hot showers you can take, cold, and there are a lot of medicinal benefits these days that people talk about. It actually helps you relax. Bath bombs, if you want to be more fancy, bath bombs, put those salts. The art of tasting, while don't go to the extreme of gluttony as it was in your slide. But yeah, some people may I mean, it is whatever drives your boat. You may like to try different foods, just go for it. The art of listening to whatever you like, the art of waiting is also interesting. You wait for something, and you not really fret about it. But these are different simple ways, and you can do whatever suits you. So this is my topic that I thought I would speak on today. So thank you. Any questions? Happy